Have you ever had one of those days where you feel like you're just reacting to everything? Like your whole life is just a series of things happening to you? Well, what if you could flip that script entirely? Today, we're going to dive into the power of intentional design. And I'm not just talking about cool furniture. I'm talking about designing your entire life, from the chair you're sitting in right now to the actual thoughts running through your head.
It really all comes down to this one question, doesn't it? Are you in the driver's seat, or are you just along for the ride? In this explainer, we're going to explore how you can become the architect of your own experience. We're going to see how you can consciously shape both your physical world and your mental world for a much, much better life.
All right, so where do we even begin? Let's start with the stuff we can actually touch, our immediate physical world. You know, your workspace, your desk, the tools you use every single day. Believe it or not, there's a whole science dedicated to making those things work for you instead of against you.
And that science is called ergonomics. It sounds kind of fancy, but the goal is actually super simple. To make the things around us fit us, the humans. Think about the huge difference between a stiff, awkward chair and one that just feels perfect, like it was made for your back. That right there, that's ergonomics in action. It's all about fitting the world to the person, not forcing the person to try and fit into the world.
And this slide really nails the difference. I mean, on one side, you've got the ouch my back world of poor design. It leads to physical pain, sure, but also mental strain, that feeling of brain fog where you keep making silly mistakes. But on the other side, you have the, that's better, world of ergonomic design. Here you're comfortable, you're productive, and you actually feel good at the end of the day. It's the difference between fighting your environment and having it on your team.
And look, this isn't just some fluffy, feel-good idea. For companies that actually invest in this stuff, the results are real and they are measurable. We're talking fewer injuries, way higher productivity, and frankly, employees who are just happier to be there. The bottom line is that designing for people isn't a luxury. It's a massive strategic advantage.
Okay, so designing your desk is a huge deal. But what happens when we zoom out a little? Let's go beyond the desk and look at the rooms, the buildings, and even the cities we live in. Because these design principles, they don't just stop at your office door. They shape our lives in profound ways we barely even notice.
Have you ever walked into a room and just instantly felt different? Maybe calmer, or more stressed, or more creative? That's not an accident. The layout of your home, the design of your neighborhood, all of it, it's all constantly, and usually silently, influencing how you feel, how you think, and what you do every single day.
And there's a whole field that studies this, called environmental psychology. It's all about this fascinating relationship between us and our surroundings. I mean, you know this intuitively, right? A walk in a quiet park can instantly lower your blood pressure, while a messy, cluttered room can make you feel anxious and overwhelmed. That is environmental psychology at work.
Now, this quote might seem a little academic, but it gets to the heart of something really powerful. It's basically saying that our sense of who we are is deeply tied to the places we spend our time in. In other words, where you live becomes a part of who you are. Your childhood bedroom, your favorite hiking trail, these aren't just dots on a map. They are literally woven into the fabric of your identity.
So how does this actually play out? Well, take a look at this. It's amazing, right? A simple thing like having a window can make a small room feel way less claustrophobic. High ceilings can literally give you a sense of open-mindedness and creativity. Even the shape of a room matters. A square room tends to feel more spacious and less crowded than a long, narrow one. These aren't just details for architects. They're psychological levers that change our experience.
Okay, so we've seen how we can design our physical world, our outside world, to support us. But now for the big pivot. What about the world inside our own heads? Because it turns out the very same principles of intentional design can be applied to our thoughts, our beliefs, and our entire mindset.
I want you to think of your mind as a kind of garden. You can just let it go and let whatever weeds pop up take over. Or you can be an active gardener. You can choose to pull the weeds and intentionally cultivate the kinds of thoughts and beliefs you want to grow. Your mind is not a fixed landscape. It is absolutely an environment that you can design.
And one of the most powerful toolkits for this inner gardening is something called cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT. The revolutionary idea behind CBT is pretty simple. It's not usually the events in our lives that upset us, it's our thoughts about those events. So, if you want to change how we feel and act, we've got to start by changing how we think.
So, how does it work? Well, think of it like being a detective for your own mind. First, you identify the problematic thinking patterns, those automatic negative thoughts that just pop into your head.
Second, you connect the dots and see exactly how those thoughts are leading to negative feelings and actions. And finally, you learn proven strategies to challenge those thoughts, and over time, replace them with healthier, more accurate ones.
And listen, this isn't just a nice idea. The science on this is solid. The data is clear. Actively redesigning your thought patterns works. For things like anxiety, panic disorder, depression, CBT is a remarkably effective tool for improving mental well-being. The big takeaway here is that you do not have to be a passive victim of your own thoughts. You can be the architect of your own inner world.
So, we've covered everything from office chairs to automatic thoughts. They seem like totally separate things, right? But there is a powerful common thread that ties all of this together. Let's connect the dots.
The way to think about it is like this. You have two toolboxes for designing your life. In one toolbox, you have the tools for your external world, things like ergonomics and environmental psychology. In the other, you have the tools for your internal world, like CBT. Both are focused on the exact same goal, consciously shaping your environment for a better, healthier life.
And the key that unlocks the power of both of those toolboxes, it all boils down to one word: intentionality. It's the simple but profound act of choosing to be an active participant in your own life, rather than just a passive observer. This is the core message I want you to walk away with. You have so much more power than you think. You can adjust your chair. You can rearrange your room. You can reframe your thoughts. You absolutely can be the architect of your own experience. So, I'll leave you with a challenge. What will it be? It doesn't have to be some massive life overhaul. It can be something small. Adjusting your monitor height, tidying your desk, or just catching one negative thought and asking, hey, is that really true? What one thing in your world, inside or out, will you intentionally design today? The power is yours. Start building.